How's it going, everyone? It is me, Stateside Footy here, and we're here with a new video. We're going to be taking a look at my Premier League predictions for the beginning of the season. We're going to see what I got right, and my word, we're going to see a lot of what I got wrong. Hey, you guys, it's me, Stateside. Real quick, just before we get into this video, I just want to say thank you so much because we hit 50 subscribers over the weekend. I was out of town. I didn't even notice that it happened until I was recording this video, and I was going to go find this Premier League prediction from the beginning of the year that you're going to see here. I'm over the moon. I really appreciate it. And let's go for 50 more this month here in June during the off season. I'd love to get to 100 subscribers by the opening of next season. That would be fantastic. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy this video. I don't want to waste too much of your time. If you enjoy any of it, please hit that like button and please hit that subscribe button. It helps me out a ton. Anyways, let's go ahead. Let's get right into it. Starting off with our bottom three, you can see I got one of those teams right. And I so nearly, again, let's appreciate. I know we did this with the championship. Look up top. Look at the old face cam. Look at the old standing there. Look at the old backdrop. I mean, we still have a few of those players in the backdrop. Let's see if I can... oh, God, that's the wrong way. You can still see the baseball one. You can still see the Pulisic. And right behind me where I'm standing was the Joseph Martinez one that's up here. But anyways, let's go ahead. Let's zoom right back in for this video. All right, that should be good. Starting off, we got Southampton, Bournemouth, and Fulham. I had in the relegation zone. Fulham wasn't even close. They finished 8 spots higher than I thought I was going to have them. Very bad look there. Coming in at 19th, I had Southampton. Hey, they finished 20th. I got them in the zone correctly. That's 1 point. 1 point for me. I got them in the right zone on the board. And then Bournemouth finished 15th. 1 spot above where I had them, but, I mean, what can you do, really? The most surprising on this list, I have to say, is Fulham. I want to say Bournemouth, too, because Bournemouth, I had them dead bottom. I thought they were going to be one of the worst Premier League teams ever. And they really surprised a lot of people by staying up this season alone. And then just, you know, they're not playing very well, but, I mean, they did the job. They got the job done. They're still in the Premier League. And that's all that matters to Bournemouth and Bournemouth fans, I can imagine. Moving along to taking a look at Fulham as well. I mean, if it wasn't for Bournemouth, Fulham would be the most impressive on this list out of any prediction that I made, because Fulham finishing in a top 10 position, having struggled and yo-yoed every single time. I picked them to yo-yo again, and they stayed up. Very, very, very surprised by that. Anyways, let's go ahead. Let's look at the next three. Here you see we had Nottingham Forest at 17th, Brentford in 16th, and Leeds in 15th. And if you thought my Fulham or my Bournemouth prediction were bad, I was about, 7 spots off on Brentford. Nottingham Forest, again, 1 spot off in the right zone. That's 1 point. Leeds, I had them staying up because I knew they signed Tyler Adams. I knew they signed Brendan Aronson. I knew they had Jesse Marsch, and I wanted them to stay up. I really wanted Leeds to stay up, but they're going to get relegated. And we're going to take a look, actually, this will be going out on Tuesday, possibly Wednesday or Thursday, at Leeds' current roster, current squad. And we're going to see who's going to stay, who's going to go, and who's are they going to loan out, who are they going to contract exit, so on and so forth. And maybe we'll even chat a little bit about the manager situation and who they should bring in managerial-wise to rebuild this Leeds United team. Of course, as well, the Brentford team, I mean, very, very good season. I thought they were going to get second season syndrome in the Premier League and get very close to a relegation. I didn't think they were bad enough to go down. Let's be clear about that. But I mean, even with Ivan Toney out, they still continue to play very well. And Nottingham Forest, they bought all those players and they stayed up. So very surprising there for Nottingham Forest staying up there. I had them picked to stay up, and they did just that. Maybe whether I wanted them to stay up or not is a completely different story, because I don't like seeing teams be that irresponsible in the transfer market as Nottingham Forest was. I'd much rather see responsible spending in the market, but they stay up, they get the job done, and just as I said with Bournemouth, that's all that matters for them and those fans. Taking a look at our next 4, we've got Everton at 14th, Crystal Palace in 13th, Wolves in 12th, and Brighton in 11th. I actually got Wolves 1 spot off again. They're in the right area. That's 1 point for Wolves. Crystal Palace also in the right zone. That is 1 point for Crystal Palace as well. That puts me up to a total of 4 points. Everton, of course, as you probably already know, stays up on the last day. Everton survive relegation. Crystal Palace sack Patrick Vieira, bring back Roy Hodgson, and they managed to stay up, and they managed to finish comfortably in 11th place above Chelsea of all teams. Very, very surprising. Their Wolves started the season very, very rough, sacked their manager, bring in Lopetegui, and I mean, he got things turned around for them when they needed to, and the Wolves looked much, much better in the second half of the season. Still have a lot to do with that squad, still have a lot of revamping to do, still have a lot of selling to do. They obviously held on to a player like Pedro Neto, whom Arsenal wanted. They held on to Ruben Neves. They held on to players like that who probably could have been sold and could have looked very good in Big Six sides. And it looks like Wolves aren't going to get as much as they thought, because they probably thought they were going to be competing for that 7th place spot for Europa Conference League spot. Moving along to Brighton again, another team that I just underestimated. I mean, I thought they would have a little bit of regression. I thought they'd lose Graham Potter halfway through the season. They did, and I did not expect De Zerbi to have the season he did for Brighton. Gets them up into 6th place. Jesus, I cannot say place today. But he gets them into the Europa League, and that is the 6th spot for Brighton. And let's go ahead. Let's move on to the next three. Our top half, 8th, 9th, and 10th. Going in on 4 points. Here we are with 10th, 9th, and 8th. I thought that Leicester City would finish in 10th place. I thought they would regress from where they were, but I did not expect the regression they had, all the way down to 18th, and only 34 points for Leicester City this season. Embarrassing from them. Moving along to Newcastle, I knew they were going to continue to do well under Eddie Howe. I did not expect them to have a season all the way up in 3rd position for Newcastle this season. And of course, as you know, Aston Villa, 1 spot off of where I had them. I'm going to give myself that point anyways, because I make the rules and I was only 1 position off, despite it being in a different bracket. But Aston Villa, 1 point there, so I'm now on 5 points. And they obviously got Conference League spot, and that's very surprising to me. You're going to see here in a second who I had in that Conference League spot, and boy, oh boy, was that one wrong. Here we are now with 7th place West Ham I had in the Conference League. I definitely thought they were going to be staying, obviously comfortably up. I thought they were going to be A-okay. I thought they were going to continue to compete. I thought they were going to have a heavy price tag for Declan Rice. But it looks like they could finish in Europa League this season if they continue, if they play well in that final and win that Conference League final. West Ham could be a Europa League team next season, despite having finished, 14th? Yeah, 14th this season. They're the worst performing team in London this season. Interesting little snippet there. And let's go ahead and let's get into the top 6. Taking a look at our top 6 spots, I had Manchester United and Chelsea getting Europa League spots. Obviously, neither of those right. Manchester United had a very good season, winning a trophy and getting Champions League football back at Old Trafford. Chelsea, on the other hand, the complete opposite. All that investment from Todd Boehly ends up being completely wasted. Went through 3 managers. Thomas Tuchel gets the sack. Graham Potter gets brought in. He gets the sack. Frank Lampard gets an interim position and wins 1 game. Sean Dyche, in his few months at Everton, has won more games than Frank Lampard has this entire season as a manager for both Chelsea and Everton. 4 for Lampard. 4 wins for Lampard all season as a manager with Everton and Chelsea. Obviously a much better squad at Chelsea. And since February, I think, is when Sean Dyche took over, he has won 5 games at Everton, saving them from the drop. Anyways, let's go ahead and let's get into the 2nd through 4th spot. We obviously have quite a few teams that have finished above and below or in the Champions League spots left, as well as a few teams that have missed out on it. Taking a look at our Champions League spots, I had Arsenal at 3rd, Tottenham at 4th, Liverpool at 2nd. Got one of those teams right, did not get them in the right place. I did not think Arsenal were going to have the season they had, in all honesty. I did think we would finish above Spurs, of course, and of course we'd finish above Chelsea as well. But I did not think we would have the season that we've had, and honestly, you can say what you want about Arsenal. You can call us bottles, you can call us bottlers, whatever you want. I'm happy with the season. At the end of the day, we're going to be in the Champions League next season. We're first time in what feels like ages we've been in the Champions League. Excuse me for a second. Liverpool misses out. Tottenham miss out. It's going to be us, Newcastle, Manchester United, and Manchester City representing the Premier League on the Champions League stage. I am over the moon to be able to see Arsenal play on Tuesday and Wednesday nights. But obviously, without further ado, we've got to look at my prediction for the champion. And of course, it was Manchester City that I had winning the Premier League. So I'm going to count that as 100 points on a 10-point scale because obviously that's such an amazing prediction to pick them to finish there. No, seriously. But correct positions are 3 points. So we've got 3 points for City. That's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 points. I mean, it's not great. It's not great at all. Hopefully here in early June, I will be able to obviously get a video out showing you guys what my way too early Premier League predictions are going to be for next season. And let me know what you guys think. Were your predictions better? Send me your predictions for the beginning of the year and how you turned out doing for this season. And let me also know who you support. How do you feel about your season? Are you happy with it, sad with it, disappointed? And what are some of the bright side things you see? I'm going to be taking a look at Leicester City's squad, like I said, and I'm also going to be taking a look at Leeds United's squad and seeing what they need to do to make changes for the coming seasons. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like down below, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.